we start. Yeah.
Yep, and here we go. Hey, everybody, how's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your Wednesday night. We're halfway through the week. As always, I like to start off my videos with a shout out to the all the essentials out there, the ones that are working in the hospitals, nurses, doctors, people that have to clean the hospitals, just anything that is kind of dangerous right now out there in this world. It's a scary time right now. We really don't know what we're going up against, but as long as we all do our part and we play it safe, the quicker we do this, the quicker this thing goes away. I want to extend my thoughts and prayers that are affected by this pandemic going on right now, and we're all praying for you. We're all rooting for you that you guys get this through. And that's my shout out to the essentials, the ones working out there, and to the people that are quarantined at home. Hopefully, you guys are taking this time to do some self-care, enjoy time with your loved ones, your family, if you have kids, wife, whatever it is. Even if you're living by yourself, hopefully you take this time to self-care, take care of your mind, take care of your body, because it just you never want to stay cooped up forever. But as long as we all do our part, it'll go away. As always, wash your hands before and after every meal for at least 20 seconds, as well as if you got a cough, cough on your elbow. And hand sanitizer is the key, guys. Always take care of yourself. And the quicker we get this through, the quicker we get back to normal lives, which is I'm sure that everybody wants. And I hope people that are watching this video, I thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully this video kind of takes your mind away from all the distractions outside in the real world. So let's get started. Today, we are going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. They are the reigning NFC East champions with a record of 9-7. That division was really, as best way as we can put it, it was really just a two-team race. It was really between the Cowboys and the Eagles managed to get the upper hand over Dallas, and they made it to the wild card round, and they played Seattle in the wild card round. It's just unfortunately the one injury to Carson Wentz, where Jadeveon Clowney landed on his neck, kind of threw their whole season off the rails. Josh McCown had to come in, and he was really just picked up off the streets recently, up to that point, and he tried his best. It wasn't enough, but they had a good year, 9-7, NFC East champions. They lost in the wild card. They have pick 21. And as far as me talking about the Eagles, I do have a special guest today. His name is Roy Anderson. Me and Roy have known each other now for about 5 to 6 years, and we've done enough, man. We've worked together. We've gone to games together, and he's really one of the down to earth type of dudes, and I'd like to bring him in at this time. Here's Roy, everybody. Roy, you there, bud?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Thanks for. I'm good, man.
That's good.
I appreciate your kind words. Man.
You staying safe out there, bud? You all good? Family's good. Everything's all good.
Yeah, man. My family's good, man. My family's great.
That's good, brother.
Yeah. How's the family doing there this rough time?
Yeah, man. I know it's it's a weird time, but as long as we all do our part, we can get this over with,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But
it's the most important thing, we all stick together and we work through this tough time.
Oh, absolutely. I also do want to do a congratulations to him, as he recently just got his degree. Was it Riverside, or what was it at?
No, it was at Cal State San Bernardino.
There we go. Cal State San Bernardino. Yeah. I want to congratulate you on that, my man. That was awesome. Congrats.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you for that. Yeah, definitely. Got my bachelor's of psychology. Yeah, it was a very cool moment for me and my family. We always appreciate that. Appreciate the love.
Well, Roy, let's dive into your Philadelphia Eagles. So, in one word, what would you give one word on the Philadelphia Eagles season? Like, if you were to just say one word, what would you give it?
If I was going to give the Philadelphia Eagles season one word, I would call it lackluster.
Oof.
Definitely a lackluster. Came into the season with a lot of high hopes. A lot of high hopes for the defense, a lot of high hopes for the offense. We just recently acquired Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey, who in the beginning of the season, while pairing them with a dynamic tight end duo as well, was supposed to be one of the best units of offense that the league was going to be able to see for the 2019 season. However, with injuries, we unfortunately didn't get Carson Wentz the best receivers available. There was a lot of turmoil within the locker room. There was some small little snitch moments that were reported about Justina Anderson. And it was a lackluster season. We didn't make it to the playoffs, but just barely. We had to finish off the season with, I believe, a 5-game winning streak, and beat the Cowboys in order to get in. But we did make it. Yeah.
I mean, if I were to give, if I were to give it one word, I would say, underperformed. Really, what shocked me was, even with the leadership of Malcolm Jenkins in the back, that secondary. I mean, it was just no bueno. It was no good.
It was
bad.
It was definitely bad.
It was just a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I saw it. Like, I saw a few Eagles games this year. I happened to catch at the end where you guys were kind of winning. You had that little winning streak going on. You guys beat Dallas, and then you guys beat the Redskins, I believe, and they beat the Giants, but that really didn't matter because they needed you guys to lose, and that's how you guys snuck in. But it was the secondary was sort of like no one saw that coming. It was just no way, even with the leadership of Malcolm Jenkins, and then you would believe that Sidney Jones eventually would pick it up, but his injuries just kept bugging him. And then on the offensive side, 1 week it's Deshaun Jackson, Alshon Jeffrey, and then next week is JJ Arteaga, and who can never fit on an extra large jersey for the Philadelphia Eagles. Because
large jersey.
Because
we're junior practice squad guys. We had somebody named Michael come on. I don't even know what his first name is.
It was just, and like you said, it was just injury after injury, and then you would think with the tight end talents of Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert that they would make up for the wide receiver loss. Dallas, he got his time, but Zach Ertz kind of took a step back this year, and I think really that's kind of where your offense was just stuck in the middle. It was no receivers.
He was battling through injuries.
Yeah, and
Zach Ertz was.
The only
injuries for sure at the end of the season.
The positive out of all of this was that 2019 draft class, and it was actually a really good draft class as a whole. In the first round, you had Andre Dillard, the offensive tackle out of Washington State. He was actually supposed to be a flyer, but because of the injuries on that offensive line, he came in, and it was pretty respectable tape. Of course, rookie offensive linemen, they're going to learn. They're going to have to go through hard times. However, it looked pretty respectable. Watching as a fan from the outside, hey, this Andre Dillard, he looks like he can actually, hold his own. He just needs a little bit more training and, a little bit more reps. But I think he did his own. What was your take on Andre Dillard this year?
I believe, to be honest with you, the tape really showed me how I really feel about Andre Dillard. This preseason coming up is a very, very big preseason for Andre Dillard. As you know, Jason Peters has been released for the first time in his career. In about 10-year period, he won't be the starting left tackle for the Eagles. And we get to see Andre Dillard take over that mantle for Jason Peters, one of the all-time Eagles. And we just get to see what he's made of. Like you said, he was a highly recruited player. And he was definitely highly ranked up there in the draft boards. We got a great pick, I believe. However, the tape will only tell. You know about all these great picks that just don't head out. You know what I mean?
That every year, every year seems like that. At least a quarter of these guys are be out of the league by 3 years.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
that's
Yeah,
just the,
NFL fans for not so long, baby, not so long.
you
That's
know,
it.
and
Right.
well,
That's it.
and then you guys
Yeah.
followed up in your second round pick with Miles Sanders, the running back out of Penn State. Now, he was no Saquon Barkley by any means.
Yeah.
However, he does have a little nice game to him. Like he actually showed his thing at like the better half of the end of the year.
Oh yes, yes. I'm looking forward to seeing Miles Sanders play this year. I believe he's a sleeper pick. For anyone that plays fantasy football, I believe Miles Sanders is a great sleeper pick. Day two, just saying, just throwing that out there for all of us fantasy fantasy football players out there. He's gonna have an increased role this year. I think he was probably the steal of the draft last year for my team. He will have an increased role with the open, with him being the last remaining running back really on the team. I'm blanking when Jordan Howard went to the Dolphins this year. We're probably going to draft somebody in the later rounds of the draft this year. And he's a dual threat running back. He caught about, I believe, he ran for 800 yards, and he caught about 500 yards worth of passing in his rookie season. And he didn't really start for most of the games in the beginning of the season.
Well, no,
he got most of that yardage.
Well, no, he really didn't start only due to the fact that you brought up that Jordan Howard was there, and before we got to Jordan Howard, I mean Philadelphia was in this weird transition of running backs. They traded LaShawn McCoy, then they went with Jay Ajayi, then they let him go, then Jordan Howard came into the mix, and then this is where Miles Sanders now comes in. So Philadelphia for the past couple years, few seasons, they've just been in this weird transition post LaShawn McCoy, and I think they finally found the guy to do the job that Shady kind of left, and they were just been trying to find their next their next top running back, their 3-down running back, and I think they found him in Miles Sanders. Would that be fair to say?
That's very, I would definitely say that's very, very fair statement. I even like to add that I love how you said LaShawn McCoy. That's exactly what Miles Sanders reminds me of as a running back. LaShawn, he has that wiggle that LaShawn McCoy had. Maybe not as much of a wiggle, but he definitely has that burst and that ability to juke at least that first person.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, he's no because that was he's always had tough shoes to fill, but I think he always filled them out in college. He had to replace Saquon Barkley. That's hard to do, but he did his thing, and now he kind of has to find, he has to fill that empty shoes of LaShawn McCoy. But I think he can do it. I think he is that next great, Philadelphia running back. And then in the third round, you guys got JJ Arcega-Whiteside.
Actually, not to correct you, but I believe JJ was. I think we had 2 second round.
Yeah. Oh, I am so sorry. You are correct. The second round pick. My bad. I am so sorry. It was the Whiteside from Stanford. Now, just reading on blogs and just reading comments about him, Philadelphia fans were. I don't know if they were just expecting a lot out of him, but there was a reason he went in the second. He doesn't have that number one speed, but he can play. Like he is a solid 2 to say the least. Like he could turn into a solid 2. And really at this point with the depleted wide receiver group that you guys have, I mean, is that really a bad thing, or am I just having too high hopes of him? Like what did you see out of him?
So this is what I saw from JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I saw a very big receiver, a big target, somebody that should have an ability to have a large catch radius. I saw somebody that struggled to separate from great cornerbacks when he had the opportunity to. I saw that he didn't really have the rapport with Carson Wentz that I believe he needed to. I'm not sure whether it is because he was a rookie and he wasn't getting the amount of time that he really needed to as a rookie to get that rapport with the quarterback. Being a receiver, you have to have a really great rapport with the quarterback in order to have that timing down. I'm not sure if he really had that. But to be completely honest with you, I think as a Philly fan, I think the reason why we're so hard on JJ Arcega-Whiteside is that the next pick was DK Metcalf, and we could have got DK Metcalf. And
you know, like that's the
I was
thing.
banging on the table.
I mean, and you know that's the thing about the draft, isn't it? Like, you know, you think you got your guy, and then you look at the next pick, and you're like, oh my god, what were we thinking? Like, what was going on in that war room? And oh, believe me, I've seen plenty of those. Look, as a Raider fan, I can always go back to this. We drafted Jamarcus Russell. The next pick was Calvin Johnson. So yes, I understand where you're coming from. One was the ultimate bust, and the other was like one of the greatest receivers in our like generation at one point. You know, But I understand where you're coming from. And then
we missed out on having one of the most freakish athletes ever, and you know, like. A man that he's like a black Superman. he had his own commercial before he even started playing football. You know what I mean?
The thing the thing that got me was during the whole process last year in the wide receiver class was everybody had a crush on DK after the combine. The problem was, you know, it's like, oh well, he's great, but he only knows one route, and that's a straight route, but what we saw in Seattle, it's like, no, I think this dude can do it all, man. I think this dude can do it all, and I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson's like, oh, thank God, I finally have like a good receiver to throw to, you know, because
yeah, and Russell Wilson throws the best deep ball in the world.
I
mean, you know, it's in my opinion, I believe Russell Wilson throws the best deep ball.
We got a comment, best deep ball. Apparently
best deep ball in the world.
As
a rookie had what, like 1,000 yards left?
I mean, he was close. Yeah. He was really close. But I mean, I guarantee you, I think he'll have no problem getting 1,000 next year. Like, he will have no worries whatsoever.
Oh no, no. He's just gonna get better, and I think he's better. He got a little locket over there, teach him how to run routes. You know, he's learning how he only knew how to run around last year, and he got the whole year to learn ball out. Oh yeah.
To me, that's a scary thing. It's like, okay, DK knew what he was like. He knew his assignments, but he really didn't know what he was doing because he was still learning the playbook. But down the stretch, it looks like he was finally catching on, and it looked like, oh my god, my god, here's a dude. Here's a dude, 6'4", runs a 4.4, and he can catch anything.
4.3.
You know, like 4.3. Yeah, you know, 4.3. It's like, why not? Why not? It's just.
Why not?
I mean, his body looks like. His body looks like a chiseled Greek god, and it's like, nah, he can only run a straight route. I'll pass on him. Oh, okay, smart. Yeah, good one.
I don't care. He can only run a straight route. Throw it to him. The man's 6'3", and has a 48 vertical. This man, he's gonna catch the ball at least.
But you guys ended up with Whiteside, and to say it was just tough. Like, he was just a rookie, and hopefully he catches on, and hopefully, you know, he has some success following year. Well, then you guys didn't have a third rounder, but then you guys went on to the fourth, and you guys got Sharif Miller out of Penn State, a teammate of Miles Sanders, and I mean, it was just depth at this point. You needed depth because you didn't know what was going to happen. And those injuries really just did catch on everywhere. And Sharif Miller did have a couple moments. It just, you know, that's what he was there for. Just third down situations, rush the passer, and that's about it. And then your final pick, which is a fifth rounder, Clayton Thorson, the quarterback out of Northwestern, well, that's all I can say. I mean, it's nothing against him. I mean, he made it to the NFL. It's just, you know, there's a reason he went in the fifth, and that was it. You know, that was kind of it. So, with all that being said, it was a decent draft class. It was one where it's like you guys really got everything you needed. Your draft class was all for need, and I believe that 2019 draft class, you did draft for need, and you hit all your needs. just with your 5 picks. Then the season happened. It's an up and down roller coaster in that division, and then you guys end up taking the top. Then you lose to Seattle. Season's over. Now we move on to free agency. One of the biggest news, you guys made the biggest noise. One of the biggest noise, at least, was you guys traded Darius Slay. You got him from Detroit. What was your reaction to that? Were you excited? Do you think that he has anything left in the juice? What was your whole deal?
So actually, I had a lot of thoughts about that, man. Glad you asked that question. So originally, as you know, we were originally targeting Byron Jones from Cowboys. So we didn't get him. I was a little disappointed about that. But, the next best option was Darius Slay. Darius Slay is the top cornerback in this league still. I believe he's been the Pro Bowl the last 3 years. And, he's one of the best receivers. I mean, he's best at covering receivers man-to-man. Next year, we're planning on running a lot more man-to-man. So he should fit really, really, really well in this team. As you know, we've had a lot of trouble having a consistent lockdown corner. Ronald Darby, Jalen Mills haven't been healthy the last 2 years, and we've just struggled to have that lockdown corner to solidify the left side of the defense.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to have this man come into the building and hopefully.
Me personally, I do believe that he's going to fit into this Jim Schwartz defensive scheme. I think that's what Jim Schwartz was looking for was, a actual press man corner. Sidney Jones has all the tools. I just, think that Darius can, play that system a little better than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Then, I was, when that happened, we were all excited, and then you guys declined the option to Malcolm Jenkins, which, I found that very surprising. He ends up going to the Saints. We were, I was ready to watch that. I was ready to watch, Malcolm Jenkins and Darius Slay kill it together. I mean, that's holy crap, that's a good,
I was thinking the same thing, man. I was thinking it would be really awesome if we could have had the leadership of Malcolm Jenkins paired with Darius Slay. But thinking about what Howie Roseman was thinking about, he's talking about getting younger. So, if he's really holding true with that, hopefully we draft safety. In the later rounds or, in the first round, if he grades somebody that high, we'll see. We'll talk about the drafting process later. Yeah, we're definitely missing a major piece with Malcolm Jenkins. As to your point, I wish we could have kept him and paired him with Darius Slay.
Man, I would have paid money to see that. I'll tell you what, I would have paid money to see that. That would have been a scary. That would have been a scary corner safety tandem right there, and that's one where I do not want to throw in any of that direction. I'm gonna pass on that. So
let me cuss on the YouTube, man.
Well, Malcolm Jenkins, his option did get declined. Darren Sproles, it was just time he retired, and it was just finally time. He's one of those players that 5-6 years from now we're gonna look back and be like, man, remember that returner and specialist and Darren Sproles? Man, he was awesome. He was awesome to watch.
Oh man, that man. He was a myth and legend. I followed him when he was San Diego Chargers. And he was whining in the bottle, man. He was whining in the bottle. You kick it to him, and he might get you 6. He might run 6 on him.
Yeah, that was the happiest time of my life when Darren Sproles decided to leave the Chargers, because it seemed like at his early on his career, he always returned one against the Raiders, and it's like, can we stop kicking to him, please? But then Jordan Howard leaves to Miami. Nelson Aguilar leaves to the Raiders. You guys actually released Nigel Bradham a couple weeks ago. That was another surprising one. Your general manager made it a point, and as you said, you guys want to get younger. It's just why these cuts now? I don't understand why now. They still have something left to play. I never understood it. I don't maybe you could tell us as because we're just fans looking in. The Eagles inside out. What was the reason to this? Why?
Yeah, so the reason to this is it's actually multiple reasons. So as you know, Carson Wentz just signed a really big contract, right?
Right.
So he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's affecting our cap, obviously. Right now, we're sitting at about $21 million in cap that we have left available, and we have about $8 million of that cap available for rookie signing, which leaves us with about $13 million in cap. We're probably not done making moves. Alshon Jeffrey is holding us down for, I believe, about $10 million down. We can't really cut him at this time, but I believe we're going to try to trade him. We're going to need. We're also trying to sign a unique in Dogway from. I hope I said his name right.
Yeah, trust me. I just call him Yannick because his last name, I don't want to butcher it, and then he finds out, and then I don't want to screw with the dude. Like I don't want to fight him. I'm good. Like I'm good, man. Like
I don't. Somebody's not reading his name before me. With 30, I don't have the syllables here for me for somebody to read it and correct me and stuff. So I'm asking.
Nah, trust me. You probably wouldn't be the first person to butcher his name. Like I'm pretty sure a bunch of people have butchered his name, but I'm not gonna try to be one of those people.
Yeah, but at least he heard us. He heard us, and we're probably good. But it was back to what I was talking about. Yeah, so we're trying to save a little cap room for signing other players. I don't believe Howie's done making moves. Howie Roseman is definitely well known for making draft day trades or draft day moves and releasing Nigel Adams. Doesn't mean, well, we didn't release Nigel Adams. What we did was we didn't pick up his contract option, which is the same thing as releasing, but the difference is that we can always bring it back. So we may still bring it back. We may still bring it back for just like $1 million. We may re-sign with Curry as well. He's another prominent member of that defense. But yeah, to answer your question, some of the moves we made are just to save room for cap, so we can get other players. Because I believe Howie Roseman isn't done with making moves yet, not by a long shot.
And then moving on to that, the other offensive lineman, Bayati, he's now with the Lions, and Gruger Hill went to the Dolphins. These are really, significant, players sort of leaving because, these guys were, such a tight-knit group during that Super Bowl run and up to this point that it's just, I just can't believe after this 3 years of this run, it's kind of like, all right, well, we got to let you go. And it's just one of those things, like the NFL comes fast, man. 1 minute you're there and next minute you're not. And that's just, it's just one of those things. And, we talked about the players leaving. Let's talk about the players you did bring in, because you guys did have a nice haul bringing in free agency from other teams. The first one was, I believe, if it wasn't for the Darius Slay signing, this would probably have been your biggest acquisition, was the Javon Hargrave, the defensive tackle from the Steelers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so now you have So now you have Derek Barnett, Fletcher Cox, Hargrave. I mean, that's a formidable line. Like that's a really good defensive line.
Don't forget, we got somebody last year too. I don't remember his name, but we got somebody last year too. We signed him to a pretty expensive deal. He unfortunately got hurt.
But I mean, because now it looks like the strength of your defense is back to that defensive line, which is kind of familiar when you guys won that Super Bowl. Your defensive line was that strength, and now it's like it looks like it's back to full strength again with all those 4 guys that are going to be lining up on the dirt, and it just looks scary because now with Travis Frederick retiring, the Giants are in a rebuild, and then the Redskins are just the Redskins. You guys sound like the favorites to win the NFC East again.
Yes, sir. We're 8 deep in the D line again, and we have great opportunity if we draft well. And then we get this defense popping. We definitely need help from linebackers still.
And then as well, you guys also signed Jatavis Brown, the linebacker from the Chargers. he started off hot, and then just these last couple of years, he kind of just, didn't really live up to what he looked like in his rookie and his sophomore year. But I mean, he's still a formidable player. I mean, he's still he could still play. Like, he's only 26, so he's still young.
Sure.
So I mean,
Sure. it's really,
there's no risk involved in this signing. If anything, it just helps you even better.
Yeah, man. I really think this is an underrated signing. A lot of people don't really realize he has a lot of value in playing special teams as well.
Oh yeah.
As playing linebacker. And he's actually a pretty athletic linebacker that hits. So I'm really excited about that. Excited to have that asset brought into the team. We don't have a hitting linebacker at all. We have undrafted kind of rookies that last year's rookies that are playing that position, TJ Edwards and some other notable players. However, yeah, I'm really excited for that pickup. I just hope we get somebody else in the draft as well, or we continue to get people.
Oh yeah, and then
like Howie Roseman has been doing these last couple years.
And then you guys also signed Wills Park, who was the backup safety in Denver, and then you guys signed the infamous corner from the Rams, Nickel Roby-Coleman. He's the guy fully responsible for teams wanting to challenge pass interference calls now in the NFL. Like, he's solely responsible for that.
That's the man. Yeah, yeah. I'm really looking forward to this. I believe you. I believe there's one more player that we may have signed.
Well, you guys did a couple.
Trevor Williams.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys did a couple of re-signings as well. You guys brought back Jalen Mills. Ronnie McLeod is back, and then Nate Sudfeld is back, and then you guys Hassan Ridgeway, he's back as well. So
yeah,
you guys did lose a key pieces, but you guys rebounded as well by bringing in a couple vets and a couple good vets that can still play at a high level. So it just sounds like you guys had a really good offseason. So now really what it is, it's all about the draft, and hopefully in this draft, hopefully, these guys hit it out of the park again, and we'll see what happens, because the NFC East, I mean, really looking at it from the outside, it's really just a two-man race. It's between you and Dallas, unless some cosmic shift happens and the Giants and Redskins want to start competing again, but
hey man, look out for those Redskins. And Ron Rivera is a really good coach.
Oh man,
that's a really good coach right there. They got two good running backs. And if they can get Dwayne Haskins or Alex Smith back, man, watch out for the Redskins. Chase Young, he's a generational talent.
I mentioned that in my second video. When I started this whole thing, the second video was on the Redskins, and one of the things I did say was, man, I can't believe they got Ron Rivera as their head coach, and then Jack Del Rio is now their defensive coordinator. So things are going to be looking a little different. And what's the scary thing is, the scary thing about that defensive line is, they have Montez Sweat and those two boys from Alabama, and now they're going to add Chase Young. It's like, oh man, that's scary. That's a pretty good defensive line too. But I mean, it's just, we'll see what happens, because recently the Redskins, in recent memory, they've only had a couple good years, but other than that, it's nothing really to kind of remember about. But hopefully with Ron Rivera, I mean, we'll see. But with your Eagles, I mean, it looks like they got everything in place to make another run for the division title again. So
I hear it. I'm not buying it, because every year we say things like that, things don't go well. Last year that happened. This year we had Nambi Oswald, we had Michael Vick, all that. I'm just not gonna buy all that. The hullabaloo.
Well, I mean,
I'll see it when I see it. When I see it, I see it for 11-3 again. You know what I mean? Then I'll be really excited. But right now, we gotta stay grinding. We gotta stay grinding, man. We gotta keep our nose down and get these books, finish this work.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I guess this Nelson Aguilar signing for the Raiders, I guess this is payback for all those years ago from Namdi. So that's the way I'm looking at it. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
We didn't use Nelson Aguilar well enough, anyways. I think there was a little beef between him and Carson. To be honest, I don't know why man didn't get as many receptions as I think he should have in Philadelphia.
That was, that was sort of my thing because I remember him coming out of college. I mean, he looked okay. Like he looked like he looked like he could play. I just don't know if the fit wasn't there for him. I don't know, but I mean, from what I could tell you, as a
you guys got a good player.
As a Raider fan, the only thing I see Nelson doing right now, when we signed Nelson, that was an indication to me that the whole Dwayne Harris era is over, and now we got our new kick and punt returner. So I mean, we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
yeah, definitely, he's definitely an explosive player. I don't believe the Eagles use him to the best of his ability. You guys can get him to do someone else that, and then you have some of your other players do, kind of like, flash sweeps or anything like slants or anything like that, or you can get across the middle field, take advantage of his athleticism, his spin moves, his ability to get in open space. And you guys have a steal, man. He has a steal. He has hands. People just don't respect his ability to track the ball in the air. I believe he's better than what people say, but we'll see. We'll see next year. If he gets the touches too.
All right, Roy. Well, it's the moment of truth for you. So this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna reel you in for the pick. You're gonna hear the beautiful draft sound that we've been playing all these videos, and then you're gonna make your prediction. All right?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna have a sleeper pick.
We can't. Well, hold on, my man. Hold your horses. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, my best friend, one of my good friends, Roy, here is his prediction on what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do with the 21st pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. And all right, Roy, the floor is yours. What do we got? What are we doing?
Okay, with the 21st pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jalen Reagor out of TCU.
Wow. Ho. Jalen Reagor, huh? Oh, man.
He's very electric. He can play in open space with great hands. He attacks the ball really, really well in space. It's between him and another player, Justin Jefferson. However, I just wanted to go with the speed. Yeah, that's the 21st pick.
Oh, man. Jalen's nice, man. Jalen is, watching him run, at TCU and doing his thing at TCU, he looked like the smoothest man on the planet. It looks like he was just gliding instead of running. That's what it looks like he was doing. He was just gliding. Exactly. And, I think what it is, at 21, you add not just a wide receiver, you can put him in the slot, you can put him as a special teamer. You're getting more bang for your buck at 21. Now, at 21, for me, and here's my prediction on it, is, Jalen Reagor's nice. At 21, I could see it. It's just, it would be like my reaction right now when you said that, like, holy crap, Jalen Reagor at 21, like, oh, man, was not ready for that. I was ready for, like, a Justin Jefferson, a Henry Ruggs, but.
Maybe even a Mims.
Or Denzel Mims, yeah, a guy who's been catching fire lately, or that wide receiver from Arizona State, Ayukin. But here's
all great names. I've been doing my own little research, and to be honest with you, I believe that we're gonna, from all the little draft analysis, we're either gonna get Justin Jefferson or Mims. However, I just feel like Jalen Reagor. From what I've been watching, all the tape from watching, from the process of really Jalen Reagor is the best prospect available, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. BPA, man. BPA, it always makes sense. But here is what I think you guys are going to do. I think with the 21st pick, you guys will draft a wide receiver. It's just not the one you said. I actually penciled you guys down for T. Higgins, wide receiver out of Clemson.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people. We have that too. The reason I go with T. Higgins is because he lacks that burst that I think we're looking for. But I hear you.
I mean, for me, it was more of a comfortability thing with Carson Wentz. It just looks like Carson Wentz likes the bigger targets than more of the speedsters out there. I mean, he can throw it to anybody. I just think he feels more comfortable throwing to the big guys outside. And with T. Higgins at 6'4", he you can't get any taller than that unless you want to be like 6'5" or something. But at that point, you might as well be like a tight end or something. You know what I mean? But T. Higgins, I think it's just a fit. I think it's really more of a fit with the Eagles and more of Carson Wentz. And this is going to be an interesting pick when the day happens, because it's either going to be a wide receiver or it's going to be on the defensive side, whether it's going to be corner or safety. I mean, I had about 3 to 4 guys right before we went live, and I just finally just went with my gut, and I just figured I went with a wide receiver. I think yes, they could use a safety, they could use another corner, but with the second round pick that you got, I'm pretty sure that's going to be the motive now if they were to go wide receiver. But when you guys are on the clock, it's going to be one to watch, because we really don't know. We don't know what Philadelphia's thinking, so it can go either way. But I think
from double down on receiver, man, we might go. We might go with T. Higgins. We might go with KJ Hamler.
Yeah, I mean that's another dude too. I mean, that's the crazy thing. Like, I don't think I remember a draft class of wide receivers like this deep, where it looks like you talk about every receiver in this draft class, and it's like, oh yeah, he's a number one, he's a number one, he's a number one. It's like, holy crap! Like, it's been
I'm really excited. I think we're finally gonna get a good receivers kid. I don't believe the Eagles can make a mistake this year.
I don't think so either. I mean, at 21, I think you guys are in a perfect spot, because, like I said, it's either going to be offense, defense, but it's either going to be defensive back or wide receiver. And I don't think at that point, 21, with all the names that are still left on the board, I mean, the Eagles have a good chance to probably land a really great player, even at 21. It just shows you how deep this draft class really is as a whole,
Yeah, really, I agree with you, man. I agree with you.
If
I could, man, I wish we could get two. I wish we could just trade the first round pick, get 2 receivers, get a second round pick. I wish we could do that. I know it's not possible. We're not going to do that.
No, you gotta be one of those lucky teams that have like 2 first rounders this year, because it's just that's just the way it played out this year. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, the draft's in about 2 weeks from tomorrow. So I mean, where are we on the 8th? Yeah, about 2 weeks.
I'm excited for your Raiders, man. 2 draft picks. I know you guys are going to get so many electric. I know you guys are going to get Stevie Lamb or something.
Well, I mean, it really does depend. I mean, it really does depend how it trades up this final upcoming week. I mean, me personally, it's good. We're probably in the same boat as you. It's either going to be corner or it's going to be wide receiver. I mean, because that's kind of where our need is at. I mean, at first I thought one of them was going to be defensive tackle, but then when we did all those signings with Malik Collins and, Carl Nassib is now coming in, it's kind of like, all right, maybe defensive line is more down the road. Maybe it's linebacker to finish out that Corey Littleton and the linebacker we signed from Chicago. I mean, maybe it's another linebacker, but I think truly in my heart, it really is going to be receiver or corner. But I mean, that's yet to be seen. We'll see. We'll see what they decide. But the thing is, they got to hit it right, because they had a good draft class last year. It's just you got to follow it up again with another good one. So we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how this goes. But Roy, I want to thank you so much for joining today. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to your Eagles this year. Good luck in the draft. And, as always, I'm going to be texting you as the draft's going, and then I'll get your initial reaction when the Eagles do finally decide. And hopefully they made you guys proud, because, you Eagle fans are a rowdy bunch. If you guys can throw freaking snowballs at Santa Claus, if you guys can throw snowballs at Santa Claus in the middle of winter, I don't know what. Hopefully, some guys don't come after me after this, because I'm not Santa, and damn, I can only imagine.
Playoffs. We're trying to Super Bowl this year, man. 2020, 2021. We're trying to, Super Bowl bust.
Absolutely.
We die.
All right, absolutely, Roy. All right, my man. You have a wonderful night. All right, you take care of yourself.
All right, man, thanks for the call.
All right, thank you, Roy.
Go Eagles, fly, Eagles, fly.
And that was Roy, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, he's a good dude. He loves his Eagles, and Jalen Reagor at 21, I could see that happening. And 21 is going to be a surprise pick. It really all depends. They're all over the board right now. Some have them taking defensive player, some have them taking a defensive back, some have them taking wide receiver. It receivers on the outside, and he likes the faster ones in the slot, which is the way it should be. But some teams just run it differently. But I think with Carson, I think he wants that next big target that he had in Alshon Jeffrey. So we'll see what happens there. So he believes Jalen Reagor, and I believe it's T. Higgins. So now it's going to be exciting to a couple weeks from now to see who was right and who was wrong. Maybe we're both right, or maybe we're both wrong. We'll see. But I want to thank you guys for joining the episode today. I want to thank Roy again for joining. Tomorrow, it's Minnesota is on the clock, but topic is Buffalo. So any Buffalo Bill fans out there, give me a call if you guys want to be a guest on this show. I will announce the pick for Minnesota tomorrow, but tomorrow it is about the Buffalo Bills and how their seasons went and about. They were the wild card team, and their season ended after the Houston game, which had a couple of crazy, questionable calls, but that's just the way how the NFL works. And we'll get more into Buffalo Bills tomorrow. So today, I want to thank Roy again for joining the Eagles, and tomorrow it's all about Bills Mafia. So have a wonderful night, guys. Do we have any questions up there?